I'm the guy who invented the thing that's gonna take us out of this place. If you could read my mind, you would know what kind of pajamas I want when it comes to bedtime. Footy, 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 footy pajamas. Footy, 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 footy pajamas. Footy, 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 footy pajamas. They let me be what I want to be.
Drop a pop. Here's a fun intro. Good Charlotte. We'll count to 3, and we'll start a song. And we're gonna go till we start the same song. If we start a song, let's say, we're gonna start in the choruses. But if we start a song, we can't cycle back to it. Like, we can't just do the same song every single time.
Okay. 1,
2, 3.
The little things!
Okay. Okay, hold on. 1.
Hold on, now I gotta think of another one. Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Girls that boys
like cars and...
I couldn't do the rhythm right because you threw me off. Okay.
Hold on, I have to think of one.
Alright, ready?
Hold on. Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Oh my Lord! Wash my bloody hands. How are you? My bloody Valentine.
Yeah, it's a good song. I'm singing the hits. I'm trying to make this as easy as possible.
Like I told you, I don't know song lyrics very well. Okay.
Hold on. Got it.
I can't think of another one. Hold on. I literally just thought...
There's like a super popular one from the album The Young and the Hopeless, and it's the last really popular one.
Well, you're already saying...
It has a wiener joke in it.
Just sing it and I'll chime in. Because I can't think of which one.
This is the anthem, throw all your hands up.
Yeah. Okay.
Don't wanna be
I can never remember the chorus to that one unless I'm singing along with the song. I can never remember the chorus.
There's a wiener joke in that song though.
Really?
Shake it once, it's fine. Shake it twice, it's okay. Shake it 3 times, you're playing with yourself again. That is a wiener joke.
I kind of always wondered if when he says playing with yourself, it was a wiener joke.
How is that not a wiener joke?
I could have figured it was, but
There's no word where that's not a wiener joke.
Okay, this is still going to be part of the pre-show, because we should have wiener jokes on the actual show.
Okay, well then we have to think of another intro then.
Frick.
So no, this is just a real show. Screw it.
Okay. I guess it's fine.
We've gone how many episodes with 0 wiener jokes? I think we can afford 1.
That's fair. That's not that bad.
We get 1 wiener joke every 35 episodes.
I mean, if
So, okay, real quick, hold on, this can get cut. We can cut this out real quick. My brother always made the joke, you know the Hebrew national hot dogs? My brother would always be like, oh, why are we eating the Jewish wieners?
No, that's going in the show. That's going in the show.
Because it's the only funny thing we've said ever.
At least in the last 20 minutes.
Okay. What is this show, Ian?
This is Let Me Pitch This To You, where 2 dinguses make like they try to know story and Marcus's words.
Which, I'm not wrong.
No,
it is as clunky, as awkward as a sentence, to where, like, you read that sentence and it is like watching our show because it's clunky and awkward.
Yeah.
Or going on a date with us.
Which could happen if you support us on Patreon.
Finger guns.
Support us on patreon.com/theimaginationwarehouse. For only $1 a month, you can get behind the scenes bloopers as well as our pre-show and after show, which we just are starting. So that'll be a fun thing you can check out. And for $5 a month, you can do a Google Hangouts with us once a month. And
if that seems, I feel like that's like a punishment, though. I feel like you have to do that nonstop.
No, you can
if you pay $5, you don't have to. We're just gonna try to Google Hangouts you all the time, but we won't if you give us $5.
I don't know. I think someone would Google Hangouts with us.
Name one person.
Okay.
that we don't regularly see.
I take that back.
Okay, cool. Good talk.
So this show is sponsored by our brand name, the Imagination Warehouse. You can see we're in a new studio space. Marcus got evicted.
I got evicted.
From his
and now
place.
I'm living on the street. I did a way that wasn't me too many times. It's a Ryan K song.
Yeah, that's a good song. This studio space is the extra room of our good friend Jeremy Valenti, who we both know from church we grew up going to. He's a big fan, follower of the show. He's actually on the show right now.
Live audience, guys! Woohoo!
He's not on camera because we only have one camera.
We're performing right now. We are not in our safe space that we've talked about before. This is performing arts.
That's fair.
Now. That's what this is. Like, I'm not safe at all. This is my on persona. I'm not relaxed.
So yeah, I'm Ian, this is Marcus.
What's up, dog?
Yeah, that's pretty much everything. This room's really echoey.
It's also
weird.
Wicked hot in here, which is the exact
There's
opposite.
a fan!
Which is the exact opposite. I feel like it's gonna get real loud though if we turn that on. But
It shouldn't.
Here's the thing though. The exact opposite problem we had at the last studio, where it was so cold 100% of the time in my basement.
Well, it was super hot when we did it at my house.
Yeah,
it's not that hot here, I don't think.
I'm toasty.
But it was at my house.
Well, you are wearing sweats, aren't you?
Yeah.
I'm a fan. Actually, I hate sweatpants, but
really?
they were the only pair of pants I owned that weren't that didn't already smell.
Because all your clothes are in trash bags. Like in that Office episode where it shows Ryan at the bus stop. He's like, this isn't trash, this is my clothes. That's Marcus.
Yeah, that's me right now. It's just I live literally in my car, and it's just a bunch of trash bags with clothes in it. I'm gonna find my notes real quick before we get into the pitches.
Hey, Marcus, why do your notes say butts?
That joke's funny. Actually, still pretty funny. I think. I like that one.
It's funny for people. For those of you that don't know, that was in like the very first episode. So for people that have watched consistently, that joke is funny. Yeah. My pitch is pretty short, but I kind of want us to hash it out maybe.
So let's say you go first.
All right, you want me to?
Yeah.
Because that's like literally just one sentence.
Yeah.
I had another one that I was hashing out, and I think it'd be really cool. It's actually based off of my very first one from the Lost episode, of the very, very first one.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I don't want to pitch it now because it's not done, and I haven't worked on it in a while, so it's kind of a little rusty. I think it'd be cool. Anyway.
It was so a cool idea. I liked that. It was neat.
Yeah, so this is just another little bit that I have. I got the idea from watching a Malcolm in the Middle episode.
Ooh, good show though.
And I thought you could make a whole story arc out of this. And like, you could either make it be super silly and comical, or you can make it very serious. So there's an episode where the dad is like worried about his company going under. And so he's looking for another job, and he overhears the guy next to him call and make arrangements for an interview. And this guy's like in the military or whatever, so he gets anyway. And so the dad like writes down, finds out where the interview is, and goes ahead of him. But because this guy was in the military, it's like this secret op job or whatever, and he goes through all this weird screening stuff. Yeah, and it's all super ridiculous. And he comes back, the building is gone. It's super ridiculous. But I thought, I feel like it'd be a cool premise for either a show or like a movie. But not a long ongoing show, like a short one-season miniseries or a movie.
Netflix 8-episode show.
Like a man works with like a Navy SEAL or like a Marine or something, and this guy dies.
The Navy SEAL or the man who?
The Navy SEAL. Excuse me. He dies.
Question
of whatever causes, like he just like has a heart attack. Yes.
I don't want to like interrupt again, but can we give them names, or I'm going to get really confused and super lost.
Okay. We'll say John is the normal guy.
Okay.
And we'll say, I was going to say Mark, but I'm like, that's your name. We'll say
Jeremy.
Jeremiah.
Okay, Jeremiah's the Navy SEAL.
Jeremiah's the Navy SEAL. Jeremiah dies. That doesn't matter anymore because he's dead.
We didn't need to name him, sorry.
Actually, we do.
Okay.
So John works with it, and they work at this company. Like some kind of tech company, whatever. They work at a company. And John is about to lose his job. Like he freaked up. He messed up big time. He's gonna lose his job. And so he steals Jeremiah's identity somehow. And he finds out that Jeremiah had some secret op things that he was going to do. He had this new job lined up of like doing the secret op stuff. He steals his identity, kind of almost by accident.
He slipped and fell. He's like,
I
slipped and fell into a new identity.
Like, I don't know how I'd want to explain that, but my original thought was like, so there's this like secret op job or whatever. Like John like answers a phone or something like of like Jeremiah's because he gets his old contacts or whatever from the company they work for, and he answers a phone and it's the secret op place, and like he doesn't tell them that Jeremiah died because they don't know at this point, and they just assume it's him, and he just kind of goes with it, and all of a sudden he has this identity and he becomes this like international spy or whatever, like secret agent, and then that's where you would have to decide if you want to get super silly and like
what do you mean? You
like no, I'd have to decide like I meant you figurative, like whoever kind of writes this would have to decide like, you know, you kind of want to be silly or more serious. And I didn't really take it any further than that, but that's just kind of the backstory behind this guy. Like he steals this guy's identity, kind of falls into this new identity, and he all of a sudden has this job. He has no idea what he's doing. And he becomes like this government agent, and like he has to go on these missions and kill people and do all these things he's not used to.
Have you ever seen the TV show Chuck?
Yes.
So
are you just pitching the TV show Chuck? I've never seen it.
I've seen like a couple episodes.
Okay.
Chuck isn't quite like that. Like
he doesn't die. Well, I mean, eventually he does. Spoiler alert.
I'm trying to think of how Chuck goes.
Pro tip for podcasting: you say that before you drop the spoiler.
You say
We'll fix it in post.
Yeah, no, I'm just not even gonna fix that.
Yeah, it's weird because at no point in me saying we'll fix it in post did I expect you to fix it in post.
Exactly.
No. So you know, Chuck is basically the premise of Chuck is that a guy who there's a supercomputer that is operated by the CIA, that is the sole source of all intel from CIA, FBI, all the other agencies. And one operative, he breaks in, he steals the hard drive to it, then he sends it to his college guy friend Chuck, and then through that he absorbs it all. He watches like all of the flashes of everything, that all the intel, everything, and then the computer ends up getting destroyed. So it's all stuck in his head.
Yeah.
So it's kind of along the same lines in the sense that a guy who is not expecting to be a special agent now has to be.
Yeah,
but
like he doesn't know how to deal with all this stuff.
Doesn't know how to deal with it.
Yeah.
But I do like the idea of an identity is stolen.
Yeah.
And then you
and so like he has to deal with it like that's technically a criminal like a federal offense type of thing. And so like no one can know.
Serious or silly though? I need you to answer this question.
See, that's where I wasn't sure because like you could get really silly, kind of like in Psych, how like it's technically illegal that he's, you know, claiming to be psychic, you know, and all that. Like if that found out, he could go to jail. But it's always super silly about it and all that. And like you could be like, I'm trying to think of some silly spy movies. You know, like there's always those cheesy spy movies. You can make it like that.
All of Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
Get Smart.
Like
Get Smart.
Yeah.
It's so funny. The part where he's about to shoot the blow dart gun and goes. It's so good.
I haven't seen that movie in like 8 years, but I can picture that scene perfectly.
It's so funny. Steve Bell's pretty funny, dude.
Yeah, so you can make it really silly like that, or you can make it, and that's where I haven't drawn the line there and how I want it to go. And I almost want it to be more on the serious note because I want it to be very much like he doesn't know how to deal with all this and like he's gonna have to kill people, and you know he's gonna have to kill people that he's not supposed to in order to not let people find out that he has stolen this identity.
As someone who has watched every episode of Chuck,
6 times.
Well, I will say, as soon as Zachary Levi was announced to be the new Shazam, I did buy the entire first season. But as one who has seen the entire series of Chuck, I would personally like to see a serious side of it because Chuck is a lighthearted comedy. action comedy. But
Okay, so the idea that I
chime
had
in.
to add to the conversation out the window now, because I was going to be like, oh, we could do this, and that'd be very fun and silly, but can't do that anymore. So, like, how legitimate do we want it to get? Like, are we going to talk about, like, actual morality and how, like, he's doing a bad wrong thing, or are we just going to talk about, like, kind of morality where, like, he's killing bad guys and doing Black Ops missions and stuff, but, like, that's illegal in crimes and technically against the law, but, like,
It's kind of
we're dealing with, like, him murdering people rather than also the idea of him doing other crimes, like doing Black Ops, the fact that that exists and stuff.
more like almost like it's his own morality type of thing. Like, what? Because like I said, he's gonna have to. He might have to do things or kill people or do something like in order to keep the fact that he has a stolen identity secret and all that. And like, so
He needs a confidant.
so like that's wrong, but to him it's right. Like in order for the story, it's right. It has to happen. It's like it's either that or he goes to jail or gets killed himself or something. So it's almost like survival of the fittest type of thing.
Mhm.
And so when you say he needs a
confidant.
Like, I'm saying, like, so
like
he
like
needs
a best friend,
an
like,
audience surrogate is what it's also often called, is like, so unless you have, like, the world's best actor,
Vlogging or something.
Someone
who's
he
going,
needs someone
you
to
need a confidant, whether it is a journal or something, or some sort of in-story narration
That'd be
or
kinda
anything
cool,
like that.
If there was like a journal that he like wrote.
Yeah, that he keeps to where, like, that way we get some of the stuff conveyed where, like, you're not going, he's at no point in the show, unless you come up with a device like this, is he going to say, I had to murder an innocent person today.
So like, okay,
This is how I felt about it. Like,
here's an idea for it, and I like what we're doing here because it is just a short idea, and I kind of want to hash it out. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen the movie The Outsiders.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like in the beginning, it starts out, and I think this is the revised edition. In 2005, they made a revised edition where it's just Ponyboy writing in his diary, and he's like, and I stepped out from behind or whatever, and he's writing. So like, what if each episode was him writing in his journal or whatever? It's like, and I had to do this, and then it kind of flashes back to the stuff that he had to do. And so then his journal was kind of his confidant.
and then would you hear, you could, like, hear, like, narration. So there's a part when he's, like, so, like, he's a secret agent or something, and he's, like, sneaking around this, like, building. There's not a lot of interesting dialogue that you'd hear them talking about. You can narrate over that to give. That's neat. It is. I mean, clearly, like, a narrative device, but, like, it's a narrative device, like, that works well because people use that. It's good.
Yeah.
They always do say in storytelling, it's always said to show and not tell. So I do like that sense instead of just being like, yeah, okay, here's a journal, and okay, this I'm telling you what happened. It's a much better to show them, and so that's a good point of what you're getting to. What would you want? I know you said you wanted it to be kind of like I know I said kind of dark, but like I'm kind of getting a vibe, maybe a combo of Bruce Banner, not the Hulk, but Bruce Banner and Jason Bourne. What kind of a tone kind of are you guys thinking on that then?
Up to him.
Think?
Like when you say
Yeah.
Bruce Banner and Jason Bourne, like
Bruce,
like
emotional turmoil of Bruce Banner and the lonesomeness that he has, but also the fact that I don't know, maybe
like he's just kind of a lone ranger.
Yeah.
And he's a part of Project Treadstone, too.
Yeah. Or Blackbriar or any of those other ones.
I couldn't name any of the other ones. I literally only remember Treadstone.
Yeah. And that might be kind of cool. Yeah, like have like kind of that like that Lone Ranger attitude of him or whatever.
Was that something that you were thinking about?
No, but I like
other
that.
external characters at all? But
I did think about if he has a family too. Like I did kind of want it to be like he's not just one guy by himself. He has a family, so that like things are going to be affected there.
That's neat. Actually, so
his wife might not know what's going on.
John has an actual family.
Yes.
But he's also now Jeremiah,
Yeah.
Black Ops agent, but that's super
Like it might almost get
weird.
like I just watched Goodfellas recently, like where like he starts doing stuff like and his family doesn't know about, like it almost be kind of like that, and get super twisted, kind of,
That would be good because then it wouldn't always have to hinge on that one character.
Yeah.
Yeah, you wouldn't have to get just a phenomenal actor. You could get an okay actor and other okay actors, which I think is a lot easier.
Yeah, or still get a phenomenal actor and then get phenomenal supporting actors. That's a lot harder to do, but I'm just being hypothetical.
Well, and something about that too. I mean, like, yes, you want someone to carry it, but generally, if you have good supporting characters, then you don't have to spend a whole lot on the main one.
Yeah.
I mean, you obviously want as best as you can get, but I mean, if you get someone like a Sam Rockwell or Sam Worthington or something, and I'm saying all the same names I know, but those character types are phenomenal for, or Ethan Hawke, is that the guy's name from Boyhood? You never saw the movie?
I've never seen any movies ever.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's why you had that out of the podcast. No, Ethan Hawke is another good one. That would
I've never.
Okay.
Never even heard of that one though.
No.
Yeah. I haven't either.
Side note. Boyhood, if you have not seen it, you need to see it because they filmed it over the course of 12 years, and it's a coming of age movie. And what they did is they filmed maybe a week, not even a week, maybe a couple days every year for 12 years with the exact same actors. So it took them 12 years to film it, and then they edited it and made it and released it, and it's not the greatest coming of age story, but knowing how they did it and seeing the kid age over 12 years over the course of just an hour and a half or two is really impressive.
That's cool.
And you could do stuff like that, also where he's gone for a long time, and then his kids grew up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
And now, how is he supposed to come back and be a dad when my kids don't even know who I am as a person?
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be interesting.
And maybe he's trying to send out birthday presents, and it's always just 1 year behind. It's last year he was interested in baseball, so he gets him a baseball bat, but now he's actually moved on to soccer or something.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it'd be an interesting premise.
Now, never mind. Larry was going to be stupid. Never mind.
Now,
Go
ahead. No.
I was gonna. I enjoy casting these things in my head.
Yeah.
When you guys pitch these.
Oh yeah, I've done that a few times.
So who would you want to be casting as the main operative?
Honestly,
chasing?
I don't know. I was just thinking about that actually, literally a couple minutes before you said that, thinking about actors. And I don't know.
And does it have to be a male? I don't say it has to be a male.
It could be it could be a female.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Females can be action stars, science.
Hashtag science.
Can we bring this back, Ian?
Yes.
Are we relevant enough to bring this back?
We're gonna do that.
I mean, as much as I actively hate dabbing, and we dab at the end of every episode, and I really, really hate the fact that you do finger guns, we should bring this back more, though. As much as... That's very good.
So I did that. Okay, we were talking about Jonathan Kreutz earlier. Shout out to Jonathan Kreutz, our good friend. Because he came to the play that I'm doing lights for, and Jeremy's in or whatever. And he always does that. Hashtag, and then just whatever. And he did that. And so now, if I hang out with him, usually the next day or two, I always do hashtags for some reason.
Good.
You just pick it up.
That's a very good thing that people used to do. That's so funny to me.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jonathan Kreutz, for making Ian remember that.
Yes. Finger guns. I do that just to piss him
finger
off.
guns. Let's keep it PG. This guy.
Really quick too, before we close out on my pitch, How would I haven't decided how I want to end it too. Like if I want him to die or not, because he is doing these bad things, or he also has a family too.
You're supposed to say spoiler alert before you say something like that.
I'm saying I haven't decided if I want
For your hypothetical not idea.
It'll never be an idea.
I don't know. You
It'll
could
never
just
be
have
something.
it end more ambiguous and like he has to just like the jig's up. He has to answer for his crimes, and then then people can decide for themselves. Maybe he went on the lam. Maybe he died. Maybe he went to prison. And then, if you ever wanted to, you are open for a season 2. What's up?
I got it. It goes into a courtroom scene, and then right before they read the verdict, it cuts to black.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, and then you have
excuse me.
if you ever wanted to, season 2.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that. What would we call it? I don't know. Now I'm just dreaming. I don't think about names till the end. Actually, I take that back. That's a lie. Bold-faced lie. I think about the names first.
Yeah.
But then I always scratch them. I'm like, no.
Literally.
I force myself not, like, I think of the names automatically first, and I force myself to not go with it because then I feel like I put myself in a box too much.
Yeah.
Ian literally texts me good names for stuff all the time and goes, is there any substance to that? No.
Yeah.
But he's like,
I texted you a pop punk band.
but he's like, here's this dope name. And I'm like, okay, what for or anything? He's like, a band? I was like, what would the band do? He's like, pop punk. I was like, anything else about this said band? Nope. Okay, thanks for the cool band name.
I think I've only done that like twice.
You used to do that. You and I used to do that quite often.
I have one
I think
good
I've
band
only
name, and that's it.
Both of you, I think I've only texted band names like once or twice.
Yeah, but you did it with like 2 other things, though, that weren't bands. I have one good band name.
Pop punk band, Swing and Miss.
That was pretty good. No,
That was good.
That is good.
An emo band? I want to make an emo band that's like literally just My Chemical Romance, but now. But I want the band title, the name of the band to be The Bullet to the Head Didn't Take.
Bullet to the... That'd be a good album name. Is this a commercial break?
So stupid. Like, it seems like as stupid bullcrap as like My Kim would have done in like mid Black Parade era.
Yeah. Alright, so we should go ahead, since we're kind of bunny trailing now, we should take a commercial break. We'll be back after the break. Wait, no, remember? Hashtag.
Hashtag commercial break.
Alright.
So, yeah.
So check out our show. Check out the other content we have. My music podcast. I should be having a new episode up pretty soon.
Do you know what it's going to be about?
Actually, it has. I have Jeremy in the show.
Oh, nice.
And we kind of just gave a huge shout out to Omaha artists and local stuff, and talked about Linkin Park. And,
we did.
Because we're both huge Linkin Park fans, and Chester Bennington died not too long ago.
Yeah, you guys are super relevant on that.
Well, I mean, it just kind of came up. Like, it wasn't.
He asked me about my influences, and Chester and Linkin Park was definitely high up there. But.
So check that out. Check out any of. I think Marcus is gonna have his other podcast up. Maybe, I don't know.
Hopefully. Yeah, we've been brainstorming, and my life's been settling down and a lot less busy. So I will actively be getting stuff up. I've also been writing more stand-up, which I think some of it is actually pretty good, and some of it sucks. So we'll see how that
Did you
goes.
ever finish that religion joke?
Yeah, I have the spoilers for the last thing of season 1. I have it mostly written down, but it's not as good as I need it to be. And it is me talking about religion, and it is essentially one very, very long joke that it'll be very good when I get it done.
Yeah, don't spoil it.
It'll actually be funny.
It's pretty good. I've heard it. It's pretty good. Yeah.
We'll tell you after the show, after we cut. We'll tell you about it.
If you want to support this show, support Imagination Warehouse, go to patreon.com/The Imagination Warehouse. For just $1 a month, you can get behind-the-scenes bloopers as well as our pre-show, and just tons of extra content that we do.
For $2 a month, you can get me laundry baskets rather than trash bags.
Yeah, we determined that Marcus's life is Ryan from The Office when he's at the bus stop with trash bags full of clothes. That's Marcus's life right now. He's a hobo. No, Marcus is a genuine hobo with like the knapsack tied to the stick over his shoulder.
Yeah,
hobo does just mean traveling worker. It doesn't mean homeless person. So that's not a bad thing. You're just a traveling worker.
Hold on.
No. If you look up hobo.
So Ian, if I just said the F word right now in context, you wouldn't cut it from the show. Like that wouldn't be offensive because I used it correctly.
No, I'm just saying hobo like just means traveling worker. So
okay, and the F word just means
is not. No, Marcus isn't homeless-ish.
I mean, like, I don't own a home, technically. So,
So yeah, support us on Patreon.
Good.
Thanks.
Way to keep me on track.
Thanks. Shout out to Jeremy Valenti for giving us a studio space to record. Shout out to Tim Schoenfeld for letting us use his theme song. And
please reach out through email to send us like any feedback on the show on how to make it better, things you like about it, things
send
you think.
in your pitch ideas. letmepitchthistoyou@gmail.com. Comment, like and subscribe below.
Let us know which one of us is your favorite.
Yeah, I know I definitely look the best, but I feel like Marcus sometimes has better jokes.
If you don't vote for me, if I don't win, I'll probably kill myself.
We're doing a suicide joke, and I'll go back to heroin. Okay, this is a really long commercial.
Oh my goodness.
This is stupid. Why do we do this show? I quit. Okay, Marcus, what's your pitch?
Alrighty, my pitch is the most boring thing of all time. So,
right, let's go.
You know, like, real life, Ian?
You mean not podcasting?
No, just real life. Like, everyday menial stuff.
Just
that, like,
everything that sucks?
No, not the show Everything Sucks. That's on Netflix. Like, you can't take that.
No, I wasn't.
Ian, that's idea theft. Ian. Oh, yeah, so we're gonna make this show about, like,
we're gonna make
in
a
the
90s
closet
kid.
in the 90s, and like there's also gonna be these three nerdy kids. And
Did you actually watch that show?
I watched some of it.
I watched one episode.
Yeah.
I wasn't referencing that at all.
No, I watched one episode and I was like, this is a show that's probably like pretty good to some people and is not a Marcus show.
I watched one episode and I thought, yeah, this might be okay if you got into the characters, but as far as the actual writing, I wasn't impressed. But I don't know.
Okay, so here's what I want to do. I want to make something that's kind of Boy Meets World-esque because we all love Boy Meets World, and make something that's kind of, I guess, every long-running sitcom where the characters kind of age-esque, but make it as a comic book, and make it as more of like a snapshot of that age, if that makes sense. So like,
okay,
the first volume of this would just be about like a kid being born. So like the idea.
So it'd be literally about him being born, about his mom.
Yeah,
in the
no, like
hospital
we're literally just watching some artist draw a kid being born. No, so like have it just be about a family, and it's usually going to be more specifically to like the main character kid. But
what's his name?
I have it written down somewhere. I was looking for it and couldn't find it. So
Calvin, and he has a best friend named Hobbs, who's a stuffed tiger.
His name was Scott.
Scott. Okay.
And it's the Carter family. So Scott
Carter.
So the first episode volume, the first volume of the book would be like about kind of his being born and the way that it affects the rest of the family. He's the youngest. He has 3 older siblings.
Okay.
He has an older brother who's the oldest, and then there's 2 twin sisters who are not super different from each other. Like looks wise, like they're not identical, but like they look a lot alike. And then like his mom and dad and stuff. But like, so the first volume would be a lot about how like what changes in the life of everybody else. So he's the youngest, and like his older brother's got like 10 years on him and stuff. Like, so there's gonna be lifestyle changes and stuff. And then he has health issues, and like to kind of see like to see a nice touching story of a family kind of coming together on how they can help their mom handle the newborn kid and stuff like that. And like just like a real like heartwarming like, oh, like look at this, which is kind of rare.
Genuine American Christian family that doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, but like it'd be a really heartwarming like, look at this family like be a good family and kind of work through stuff together. And that's kind of just the whole first volume. It's just about coming together for Scott.
Okay.
Let me find the second volume.
Scott's the middle child, right?
Scott's the youngest.
Youngest. Did you say? I thought you said there was one younger than him. No.
No, Scott's the youngest. Then he has 2 twin sisters who are older than him, and then the eldest is his oldest brother.
Okay.
Okay, hold on. I had it broken up like an idiot, not by volume, by age. So the first one was infancy. Then as a kid.
So infancy, like, is it going to be
as
about
like
the family?
he's a baby. Yeah,
He's
so,
a baby.
so the first volume is less about Scott and more about like
about the
the
family.
effect that Scott has on the family. You know what I
Okay.
mean? So
Yeah.
he's less of like the catalyst for what happens in volume.
But it's
1.
going to be the whole volume is him as a baby. It's not going to
Yes.
like, okay.
Yeah, so the whole volume is just
He's not going to grow up within the volume. It'll be the
No.
next volume. He'll be
a different age.
A different
Yes.
age. Okay, that
So-
makes sense.
so
Okay, I didn't know if
the-
he was going to age through within a volume. Okay.
You know, so the idea is we do our best to snapshot by telling a small, like a 1 volume story of what it feels like to be that age.
Okay.
Like that would be the idea behind it. So like, I think I chose graphic novel for this because I think like it is the easiest to do. So like, for the infancy one, like everything can be like a different total feel, and then like as a kid, and you're supposed to write from your experience and stuff. So as a kid, it's gonna be very like Calvin and Hobbes, like hyperactive imagination stuff. Like, and you can do some very cartoony stuff. And then like as you get older, it can be like a more serious look that is like really easy and fun, and you can capture that super special. And like as a teenager, it's like super emo because the kid's like, I don't know what to do, and like girls don't like me, and like, you know what I mean? Like, I think you can play around with the stylization in comic books and graphic novels like that.
Yeah.
In a really special, neat way. So the next age that I wanted to talk about, like the next volume, would be like him as a kid. And I, just to give us a quick thing, and we're always drawing inspiration from Boy Meets World. So the kind of mashup of characters of how I want the kid to feel as a kid is Calvin from Calvin and Hobbes meets Corey from Corey Matthews. I think like that kind of rolled into one kid.
Okay.
So he's hyperactive, but he also is kind of like he's got some like weird dorky charm to him and stuff. And I want him just like to kind of go on an
Is his
adventure.
neighbor going to be his teacher?
Maybe. Like
Yeah.
whatever, but like just like
Yeah.
a real fun,
Yeah.
heartwarming story.
Go
Like,
on like adventures and stuff.
like maybe like could be like a road trip, and he's like trying to keep like a video. I just inhaled some of that fiberglass.
I told you.
This is not gonna like I would have wiped the gloves on my shirt anyway, but sorry. So like maybe on like a road trip, because like road trips are like kind of fun, and I think it'd be neat to see a hyperactive imagination kid trying to keep a video journal on a long road trip, and like I think there's some comedy to be had there, and I think like at that point in life it's a very fun, loving time when you have no responsibilities at all. Not even like fake responsibilities that you think you have as a teenager, and then you become an adult and you're like, man, I'd kill to have as much responsibility as a senior in high school. That'd be so cool. The next age, I said almost teen, and I wasn't gonna have I didn't want to have that in there originally, but then I was like, there is too good of a story or fun dynamic to have of being at that age when you start to get interested in girls, like you're just hitting puberty, and all you know is you really, really want the attention of a girl, but you 100% for sure don't know the best way to get it, and the very few times you manage to get it, you guarantee you don't know what to do once you have the attention of said girl. I was like, that is too...
that's supposed to be when you're...
Yeah, that's not
That's not now?
That's not 20 years old.
What?
That's good.
That was good. That was good.
joke.
That was a good joke. Oh my goodness.
Like,
Okay.
Like that is too good of a story, and like you can like just tell like the most adorable puppy love like little like romance story between him and like the girl next door or something.
Topanga.
Yeah, like
Corey.
I think that would just be like really fun to see, but like again, snapshot it and like and being told from the perspective of this kid, it is the most important thing.
Mm-hmm.
And like I think it'd be even better if in like the next volume the girl's not even referenced. Like, you know, relationships like that don't last usually and stuff, but like it is in this volume literally the most important thing in this kid's life. And then 2 years later as an actual like teenager in high school, not even like referenced or brought up at all.
Yeah.
And stuff because like that's how life works, right?
Mm-hmm.
So next,
Would you have one for like each grade?
No.
Like
No, so like it goes kid to like I'm thinking probably like
preteen,
eight-ish
like double
to
digits.
like preteen. Yes, you're like just hitting puberty,
To,
like 12,
that 13, 14.
to where you're hitting like I'm gonna
to-
say like mid high school for the teenager one. So he's gonna be like 16, 17. Then we're just gonna start going to decades after that, and we're not really gonna go past the 20s because we don't know anything about that because we're 20-year-old dudes.
So just go to college.
Yeah, so we'll just be like, yeah, I'm not even going through college. Like, it's sure you go teenager, I'm going to 20s. Because I didn't, again, a lot of this is just off of my own experience, and I didn't have a really huge college experience.
So it
Because
seems
I'm a
like
college, I am, much like Kanye West, the college dropout.
Suck it. I finished college while I was in high school. Suck it.
You're the worst.
I kind of like it almost sounds like it's a comic book journal of somebody's
just this kid's life, yeah.
Yeah, and it's almost like you're taking experiences from your own life, and like if you're gonna stop at then 20 or whatever, and like as you get older, it's like, okay, now what experiences do I know now, and then you can continue it on, and not even necessarily that it's your journal of your life, you're just using inspiration, but yeah, it's like a journal but a comic book about this kid's life. I dig it. Like, I really dig it. Like, I'm very intrigued by this character and this character's life.
I think that, like, there is so much charm to be had from a book like this that, like, especially if done well, like...
You could call it
the volumes come out. I have it labeled as growing up in my Google Docs.
Did you just say you could call it charmed?
Charm. I said charm.
Oh, charm. Okay.
Not charmed. Charm.
That's a completely different TV show. The completely different avenue of
charm.
Entertainment.
Like, no, this isn't PG, Jeremy. PG.
Yeah,
PG.
Let's keep it PG. Gosh, you guys.
No, like charm is
PG.
Like,
no,
like you could like do the first one like the charm of being a kid or something, or like I don't know, and then like the teenage one like. I don't know. That was just a thought.
But, like, I think that there's just, like, a lot of charm behind it, especially, like, to read it in a way to where, like, I think a really neat way to experience this would be, like, oh, I'm either leaving my 20s or going into my 20s, and I read the one then about being in your 20s. And then, like, I think it would be, like, a really special way to kind of, like, enjoy the series. Like, you obviously can't really do it with a kid stuff, because, like, you can't read when you're an infant, you know what I mean? But, like, kind of as you age, like, to pace yourself on reading this, like, to age with Scott? Yeah, Scott's his name. I think it would be, like, really special. Like, I have some stuff about, like, the siblings, like, just, like, rough outlines. Like, his older brother's, a super, like, huge, like, soccer star. And he has been since, like,
he gets hooked on heroin and kicked out of school.
Then one of his sisters is, like, the only, she's, like, the most stereotypical, like, high school girl. Mm-hmm. But, like, actually kind-hearted as a person because she, like, was raised, like, with good parents and stuff. And then the other one is the only person in the family who shows, like, any sort of, like, care about anything artistic. So, like, she's kind of, like, in, like, writing poetry and, like, drawing and stuff like that. And, like... I mean, Carter was, and then Scott was just me because I was just drawing inspiration from my life. So he was just kind of a dangus who did a lot of weird stuff. And like, at one point,
it seems like Scott's gonna be like, it seems like any show like that. Like, and I'm thinking of Boy Meets World. Like, I mean, yeah, Corey was kind of a nerd, but he was kind of a sponge. Like, he was like, there was different phases in episodes where he was super into like baseball and his sports and stuff, but then there was episodes where like. He was into comic books and, like, he would bring the X-Men issue to class, you know, and, like, you know, to where it's, like, it was almost just a sponge off of whatever kind of phase in life it was. He didn't have, like, this is who he is. He's just a person figuring things out, you know.
Yeah, and I think, like...
So I think, yeah.
I think, like, the teenage years, I think, like, one thing that could be, like, kind of cool to see, so, like... You're the most emo you're ever going to be in your teenage years, right? So I think also if, like, a grandparent dies or something, and it's kind of about, like, you're learning to think for yourself, you're, like, hormones are raging, so you, like, are feeling things in a different way, you are, like, trying to figure out everything in life, and because of the way everything's set up, like, high school doesn't teach you a lot of stuff, and then all of a sudden you're about to be out on, like, your own in the real world, and, like, it is a real special, weird, scary time, and to, like, have to deal with all of that, and have to, like, also learn how to, like, grieve and, like, think for yourself as your own person. Mm-hmm. I think would be like not as whimsical as all of the other ones and stuff, but like also have just as much charm to like, if written well. Again, like I can't. I'm not saying I could write this well. I'm saying in my head it would be written well to where like you would see that like very effectively play out, and you could be like think back to a time of when like I was also a stupid kid. And stuff, and like just to get like a lot of just this is the whole thing is just a nostalgia bomb essentially is what I want people to feel like reading this, but in like a happy, good, fun way. That's not like nostalgia through like like cultural relevance or anything like that, but like nostalgia through like a snapshot of like this is what it feels like to be a kid. You're kind of crazy and you have a hyperactive imagination and you're doing this, and you're really into like girls at this point in life, like that kind of nostalgia bomb that like is more timeless rather than based around what like songs were popular around your specific time as that age.
Yeah,
that's pretty much like that's all I have. Like that's my whole idea.
No, I like it. Is he gonna have like a best friend or anything, or and like is he gonna deal with things like is he gonna have a dog and like the dog dies at a certain point and he's gonna have to learn about what death is and like.
I mean,
like, is there going to be super serious emotional things like that, or is it going to be much
like
lighter?
I said that like that one was, and like there could be like one of the things I have in there is a midlife crisis. Like he's going to go through a midlife crisis, and he's going to like deal with being like an old person and stuff like that. But like, I think like it kind of just no, because you're thinking of like micro arcs when I'm thinking of like macro snapshots that like are like. Okay. This is what it's like. This is like to where like you read it and you're less getting like it's like a lot less of a story of it's like a piece of a story of this kid's life, and we're just reading a day in his life or something like that. So like it's a lot less like this is about like
a day in the life. Like the title or something.
Or something.
Not that that's the title, but that's kind of like the idea of it. Yeah, that makes sense.
So it's just like you read the first one and it's just a perfect snapshot to the best we could do to like show a really like heartwarming family come together to help this kid survive and help their mom like deal with like all this stuff. And then the next volume is just a perfect snapshot that just shows what it's like to be a hyperactive like a kid. Like so you read this, you're like this kid's like a spaz and he's like all these things like I remember being like this as a kid. Like this is a fun trip back. And then the same thing with the next age and the next age and the next age and the next age.
Yeah, I like that.
What would be interesting about that, and you know, this is a whole different compartment for me as far as thinking as a comic book, or you know, something in that sense, because you know, you're talking about capturing so many different times or so many different memories into one frame or into a series of frames, and something that makes me think about that is. That did that extremely well, and I can't think of any of the artist names off the top of my head, but painters from the 1700s. And I know that seems like a really far out there, but generally like painters from that era, from that time, what they would do is they would, you know, they would have someone sitting on a desk or sitting on a chair at a desk, you know, doing something. But every minute detail that was on the desk, that every stain, every anything that was on the chair, of their clothing, the shading of it portrayed either, you know, like if it was in France, you know, it would probably be that of the Civil War or the or what is it of how miserable, poor they would have been in the 1700s. Everything would be so minutely detailed, and that's something that intrigues me as someone from hearing your pitch on that. It would be to see how much you can pack in to one frame.
It is.
You know?
It is like reading. Have you guys read Watchmen?
I've never read it, but
read Watchmen and then do yourself a favor. And go and like Google Watchmen script, like images, and see what Alan Moore gave. I forgot the artist's name. That's a waste of that's dead air. But Google that. Alan Moore like would give this guy like 3 pages for a panel. Like this one panel, here's 3 pages of notes. Get all of this stuff in there. There's also 6 panels on this one page that's like this big. Have fun, and you're like, like, and to be honest, guy kind of killed it. I wish I could remember his name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Killed it though.
Cool.
Yeah, Watchmen's a really special book. Like whether you think the story's as like neat as it is, like just
What's it called again?
Watchmen.
Watchmen.
It,
I think I've read some of that.
Like
does it
just
have anything to do with the movie, The Watchmen?
with the Watchmen like Scott Snyder movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's based on that.
Okay. So we are thinking the same way. Okay.
Yeah, like, but Alan Moore is a crazy person who, my favorite thing about Alan Moore is he used to regularly call his DC editor when he worked at DC and talk about, like, the evil wizards and stuff that lived in his basement and stuff like that. Like, but, like, not as a joke. Like, he's just a crazy person and stuff.
Oh.
Yeah. No, Alan Moore's just an insane boy. That's my whole idea, though.
I like
it's
that.
It's just a snapshot of, like, to show what it's like. Like the goal of the thing would be like to capture to make you read this and feel, oh, that's what it is like to be a kid again.
Yeah.
What would be interesting would be to see the facial reactions on each panel, or maybe not necessarily on each panel, but on the panels, because that is the purest raw emotion, and at least that I would think, and how well is that captured?
Yeah.
And I think and I honestly do think it would work best if there was not one artist for it and the artist just changed volume to volume, because
Yeah.
Volume 2 about the kid, if you could just, Bill Larson died, but if you could just get Bill Larson, who did Calvin and Hobbes, to just draw that, be like, okay, perfect. This captures, the childlike imagination and exuberance
And,
so
you could
perfectly.
And you could get people that, you obviously couldn't, neither of us could write past the 20s or whatever. So, you get someone then older to write when he's older, when he goes through his midlife crisis, someone that's gone through that,
Or just wait till I get that age and have the volumes come out slow.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like you said, have a different writer for each volume.
Mm-hmm.
No, a different artist for each volume.
Or artists, okay, yeah.
Yeah, and then
And it would be set in the current timeline, 2018.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, but I also
But it
would
wouldn't be set in
I
a time.
would do my
would it?
best not to reference if you looked around cars and stuff
Yeah.
you could put it together probably, but
Calvin
not
and
to
Hobbes
reference
isn't
any
set
of
in a
that.
time. They
Yeah.
don't really reference anything. The only thing is, one time he walks up to his mom and is like, "Mom, I'm gonna grow a beard like the guys from ZZ Top." That kind of proves that it's okay. It was in the '80s.
Yeah.
But otherwise, that's the only thing I can think of that they don't even reference it. It never shows a payphone. It never shows anything that's from a very specific point in time.
Yeah, and the reason I would just want to avoid that is because I think that because I'm going for a nostalgia bomb, but not in a cultural significance way.
You could read it 20 years from now.
Yeah, 20 years from now, you still know what it feels like to be a kid.
Mm-hmm.
When you might not I don't think there will ever be a time when a little kid is not going to use their imaginations to be in a cooler place than they are. I think that's just literally a thing that is timeless. I think kids have done that since there's been kids. I think they will always do that.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
I like that clarification, because for the while you were pitching it, I'm thinking in my head, okay, this is going to be very niche for one specific generation.
Yeah,
but now that you say that you want it to be something that can last for 20 years, and so people can do that brings it a whole different light as far as approach.
Yeah, because don't get me wrong, when I watch stuff from early 2000s when I was a kid, when I watch Even Stevens, I'm not an old person by any means, but I feel nostalgia watching Even Stevens because I grew up watching the show. We're saying Kim Possible and stuff, but I don't want it to be nostalgia in that way as much as it makes this thing. I feel nostalgic for this thing because it makes me feel like a kid again.
And that was from our generation,
Yeah.
Another generation is going to appreciate that.
Yeah.
In the same way, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. Almost we both love Boy Meets World, but honestly, that was in the 90s. We weren't that age in the 90s. So we couldn't appreciate that as even Jeremy, who's a few years older than us, could understand some of those things a little bit better, Or someone, or Matt, he's
Oh, get him. Roast him.
Not to roast bad, but he's a lot older than us.
Light him up.
He can get some of those things better. And like, no, I'm not saying anything against our love for Boy Meets World. We both love that show, and it's a great show. But we can't relate to, like, I've noticed that watching it before. Like, I can relate more to even Stevens and that time period than I can to Boy Meets World.
Even though
Boy Meets World's a better show.
I mean, yeah, it's better, but like
it was more popular.
There are times that like recent. What season was it? Like season 4. I was like, I'm not in high school, but like the stuff that was like going on in Corey's life, it was the most I was ever like, what's going on in Corey's life right now is what's just going on in my like real life, and I was like, this is super bizarre. But like, it was a really neat thing to see and stuff like. Because the first time I watched Boy Meets World as a kid, but then like I got to the point when they were in college and moving out and like trying to like deal with like being an adult. And I was like, hey, this is super relevant to me right now.
The problem is when they moved out, they have like this awesome apartment, and like somehow none of them ever have real jobs, and like everything just gets paid for.
But like no, not like once they're married though. Like once they're married, they actually feel like them struggle, which is cool.
Yeah, it does show that, which is cool. But up until that point, like Eric just lives in an apartment with Jack.
Except for there are also multiple references to Eric not having any money and sleeping in Feeney's car for like the whole summer, which was funny.
That was funny.
Enough about Boy Meets World. We should wrap up the show because it's 4:30 a.m.
That's the show. Thanks for watching. You want to do the
our special dab?
Yeah, the old dab. Ready? 1, 2.
It's dumb every time. It's never not dumb.